This is a pair of pants and this is a jacket. What if they had a baby? In this video, I'm grabbing elements from the pants and using them to reimagine the denim jacket. Let's have a look back, because over the years, the humble trouser has seen a lot of change. Starting from the 30s, when the silhouette was super high-waisted, they're also using suspenders to kind of hold them in place. During the 50s, we saw the introduction of pleats, which are my favorite feature still. During the 70s, yeah, I don't know what happened. Probably acid. During the 90s, things went kind of chill because the waistline dropped a lot, making them super comfortable, and then we just entered this endless cycle, going from baggy to skinny and now back to baggy, and who knows what's gonna happen next. I'll now go on Pinterest and start looking for all of the elements which define the trouser. The idea here is quite simple. Every time a certain feature shows up, it gets a point. And the top 3 we have to include in our jacket design. Oh, and this light is blinding me. Here are the most common features. Number 3, the pleats on the front panels. Number 2, the waistband with the belt loops. And number 1, the fly. So we finally have a plan. We know what features to include in the jacket design, but we don't know what the jacket should look like. When you're creating an original piece, you have to take care of all of the aspects of your design. I always start from the most basic block and alter it until it's no longer recognizable. On this first version, I widened the body and the shoulders. I then cropped it a bit and added some extremely long sleeves in contrast with the shorter body. Yeah, this is such a vibe. I absolutely love it. Do we have a winner? No. This is only the first take. Let's do a few more. So I just kept pushing through the night and developed those other 4 silhouettes. I'm gonna start calling some people and they're gonna make the decision, not me. This is a very important part of being a designer. You create the work, but others decide if they f with it or not.
A treia îmi place. Uite-mă. Păi și poți să votezi pe YouTube?
Ok. Și dacă ar fi un locul 2? And the second one is the very last one again. I don't know what's happening.
Îmi place asta cu mâneci lungi, a doua adică. Uite asta.
And just like that, silhouette number 3 won. The last one was the only standout. It started as a filler and somehow stole the hearts of the voters quite effortlessly. I'm just gonna keep pushing with this silhouette, but by the end of the day, I want to have 3 options. First thing I want to do is to add a bit more volume, because at the moment it's a bit regular fitting. Oversizing the garment is kind of like tailoring, but in reverse. While developing the collar, I got this idea for the sleeves, where I split them at the top into multiple segments and use those segments to add volume. Kind of like a sculpture. Feeling fairly confident that I'm on the right track here. But you never stop on version 1. So let's try another one. This time I'm adding volume along the length of the sleeve as opposed to just on the shoulder. For the last take, I wanted something different. And here's the plan. Create a few parallel internal lines along the width of the sleeve and then simply split it. And here's the worst part about fashion design. Deciding between them is like killing one of your babies. And just like parents say they don't have a favorite child when they clearly do, I knew I had mine. V1 was my favorite, so V2 and V3 have to go. And all that's left to do is to start bringing those 3 features from the trousers and implement them in the jacket design. I wanted to see if I can use the fly and make it functional. Therefore, I moved it to where the pockets would be and it serves a double purpose. Then I grabbed the waistband with the belt loops and applied them on the back. Last but not least, the pleats. I decided to add them both at the front and at the back. And just to finish it all off, the sleeves were also missing something. So I went back to the fly design and added it there as well. This reaction kinda says it all. I was extremely excited with this result. Even though it was well past 2 AM, I couldn't just leave it there. Remember this one, the bad tattoos coat? Because I'm thinking of adding the bad tattoos to this jacket as well. And just like that, I was being greeted by some of the worst or arguably best artwork ever made. Now, all that's left to do is to start preparing the patterns. But I'm not gonna show you that step because I'm afraid I would bore you to death. And if you wanna learn, grab the masterclass. I go super in depth with it and I pretty much teach you how to do any article of clothing. So, yeah.
It's tomorrow.
And here's the raw denim which I'm gonna be using, and now I have to prep it for the embroidery. Andrada may seem excited here, but she's actually in shock given how many pattern pieces there are. And that's only half of them. This is where the fabric goes. Basically, this piece moves along with the fabric while the machine does the stitching. This is gonna take a while. 7 minutes to do little Bart homie here. 2.5 hours, 3 hours of just the embroidery time. Boy, was I wrong about this one. We started at 9 a.m. It's now 20 to 4. And to add insult to injury, remember when I said that was only half the pattern pieces? Well, at this stage I kind of forgot. Before I fall into a deep and agonizing depression, let's admire the embroidery.
Shitty tiger. Evolution of man. Papyrus.
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 Early the next day, we just started assembling the jacket. It would take a full day to actually get it done. For this next step, we're gonna be using the same technique as for the women's corsets. We're gonna be introducing this bone in between the layers in order to reinforce them. Have a look at this beautiful pair of trousers. Psych! It's actually a sleeve. And I know we're making it seem quite easy and fun, but in reality, garment making is all about skill, trial, error, yeah, all that boring stuff. Andrada has done an extraordinary job, but the work is not done. Making the clothing, designing it, that's only half the story. Now, people have to hear about it. And I have this idea. I'm gonna create a video campaign which is inspired by Tyler New Magic, the full energy. Camera is slowly going... Ooh, ah, ooh. Okay, Tudor is not making any sense right now, so let me step in. His plan is to combine Tyler's New Magic Wand live performance with this Kendrick visual. But he never expected this to take more than just a few hours. Those few hours quickly turned into days. He started off strong by capturing the facial performance. And while he looks like a complete idiot doing it, it actually turned out pretty good. The next step was to simulate the extras in the scene being thrown into the air. Just look at this beauty, it's absolutely phenomenal. He dressed them in clothes using the final version of the jacket, and immediately after that is when the problems started to appear. Remember when I said he wanted Tyler's performance? Well, it turns out that was the biggest mistake. One of the most important aspects of this video is to somehow figure out a way to capture the animation for the dance. And he hoped that AI could just extract it from the video. What a fool. This is the absolute worst. It looks nothing like the real performance. But maybe it wasn't AI's fault. Maybe the video was just not clear enough. So he asked Andrada to try to replicate Tyler's moves with a much easier image to process. How would you rate your dancing skills?
100 out of 10.
Can you give us a sample? Whoa! Whoa, how is she doing that? But the moves turned out to be so out there that she sprained her neck. The last and final resort, well, I'll just flash it quickly on screen since it looks so ridiculous. And it also failed. So, mocap failure after mocap failure, here I am, a few days later. I've spent more than 100 hours on this project, and it's finally done. Wanna see it?
Sometimes you gotta close the door to open a window.
And you know what the worst part about this is? I could have probably saved 50 hours not going for the mocap in the first place and just using a standard animation, which I had to do anyways. And on top of that, I kind of forgot why I started the project in the first place. Is this, the jacket as a pair of pants. What do you think? Cop or drop? See you in the next one.